Well, today I'm going to have a go at an oil painting. I haven't painted in oil for some months, maybe 6 months or more. So I thought I'm going to have a go this morning just for a change. And this is my objective today, is to paint this scene from the Cairngorms in Scotland. It's a sort of I think probably early morning through this tunnel of trees here. And there's some nice challenges there, but mainly to try and catch this light and this sort of misty area there. But of course we've got the lovely shapes of these trees. And the key is not to, I've got to get this dark and light, but of course always remembering in my photographs they're always darker darks and lighter light, so our eye is so much more efficient. If I was painting this on plein air, if I was out there doing this, I probably wouldn't do it so dark, but if I zoom up, there's some browns and greens there, but it is essentially against the light, or the light is coming from left to right, so this definitely has to be darker. And as you see, it's sort of greyed out here, but this filigree of light and this pathway leading into that. So I've toned the panel that I'm on. This is a 10 by 12 panel, so I'm going to just get on and kind of roughly sketch out my darkest darks, I guess. So I'm getting a little bit of raw umber there, perhaps a little smidge of Payne's grey, but mainly I've got to kind of sketch out my tree shapes. There's a big old tree here. Try and get its shape. Coming like this, and it sort of comes off into this sort of shape here. Its base is there, and there's another one coming in here. So let's just map in some of the broad outlines of these big trees. Lovely shapes actually these. So this one coming in here, and just a little bit more forward of this one. So let's just do that. Say these are just a map, a rough map, and I'm not getting too committed to it at this point, which is a good thing. You don't want to go too early with your shapes, but just mapping out my main forms. There are trees in the background here, and of course our pathway, it comes into the middle distance there and disappears. So I've got, this is the main line of the layout really, and let's get more of those trees in. Got one here, comes up here, got trees coming across here, branches, all the fine details we can do later. And that one bends a little bit like that. They're all sort of coming out somewhat there. And another one here. at the far distance we've got one here, sort of going out, and in the distance we've got the ghosting of some faint trees, so I've got to make sure that they're not too dark really. Got more trees here. Actually there are a lot of trees, so maybe I have to simplify some of them, not have everything in there. Right, and this pathway here. Comes in like this. So I'm just, say, broadly mapping out the shapes. So now I'm going to get, so if we can put some of the greens in. Actually on my brush hard box here, let me just show you some of the colours that I've got. Lay it out, tilt my camera a little bit. There we go. You can see I've got titanium white, lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, that's raw sienna, umber, burnt sienna, cadmium orange, and I'm not sure what I've got there. What is, oh I know, olive, that's an olive green. And I've got sap green and a little bit of phthalo green, which I very rarely use because it's very powerful. Cadmium red, crimson alizarin, ultramarine blue, and Payne's grey here. So let's get back on to map out some of those main forms. Let's just readjust the camera there. So let's map in, as I say, some of these dull greens here. So I've got some odorless mineral spirit as my medium there, and some sand oil as well. If I want a little bit of oil, let's get some greens in here. So just try to map in some of these greens, less vibrant in the distance. Of course, I better remember to do that. Greens here. So as I said, I've got some olive green there and a little bit of sap as well. So I'm painting very, very thinly at the moment. It's a good idea to do that initially. So if I make a mistake on a shape, it's easy enough for me to just wipe it out with a bit of rag or scrape it off with your palette knife. So right, again, there's something of our map in there, and in this this old trackway here, it's got a slightly reddy purple tinge to it. So I've got a little bit of crimson alizarin, and I'm going to put a little ultramarine there, and map out a little bit. There are darker, some rocks here as well, which I will put in. I'll just get rid of this Well, I've got the tone canvas there, so I haven't got white glaring through, and that's give me some break there. And then I've got sort of it's tricky how some sort of slightly orangey hints in places. I've got just picked up some olive green there, which I didn't mean to, but let's make use of it now and put in some of these darker passages here. Olive greens, earthy colours, put some raw sienna as well. Go back to that olive green. I think I'll go to a smaller brush in a moment, but not for a little. And this tree here, can use that darker colours now to help map in this form. These are going to be a lot darker. Right. Yes, we've got some big old rocks here. I'll put some light forms on them as we go. Bit of Payne's grey. I think I'm going to step up a bit of darkness there. Dark along with my olive green. But now let's just think about this. I need to get some hints of colour in here. I need some tissue. Clean off my brush a little bit. There we go. Just going to wipe my brush a little bit. It's a little bit too dark. So let's just kill some of that brighter colour there. Coming over here, it's a sort of canopy really. And I'm looking into my reference again. Just smudge out this, not too bright. In fact, down in parts of it, we have quite some whitish colour, some mist and fog. It's still there early morning in this wooded area. Let's just put a bit in there, just to guide me a little bit. The conventional wisdom, of course, is get your darkest darks in with oil. It's opposite to the received wisdom of watercolour, where you put your lightest lights. But if it suits you, if you can make some more sense of it by giving yourself some guidance with where you put your lights and dark, then why not? So like all paintings, they take a little time to reveal themselves. So you've got to be patient, I think. sort of bluey grey there. This is titanium white I'm using. I've put some of the trees and boughs will come in here as I go. We need to put some background colour there. So this is a mixture of this olive green, trying to now I think it's time we got in quickly with our darkest darks. So I think, can I stay with this big brush? Yes, I think I can. So I'm going to get some Payne's Grey. Payne's Grey there, a little bit of umber. Yes, I think we can do that. Trying to get some shape to it, which it was. We've got one with one bough coming off like that. One big one off here. So let's just map it in. All sorts of notches on this tree as well. Got one there. Right, let's get some more. Say this is the main tree there. Let's put some umber in with it, some cyan. Let's get some interesting colours going. And it is in the foreground, so right, okay, come into shape now. And let's get this one too. I can still see bits of my my sketch that I did with the paint initially. I've got another one here. Can still see that on my sketch. And this one had a number of boughs that was coming across, making this sort of little bit of a tunnel that we've got. So let's make sure we've got that. There were a few coming right over here too. We'll make them look solid. And a couple out there ghosted away. Further in the distance as well. I'm coming with a smaller brush later and put some finer details in. At the moment, just trying to go from the sort of general form to the more detailed. So I'm staying with a big brush for the time being anyway, as long as we can. Get some umber there, fairly thick now. So trees in the background there. Nice limb coming off like that. Again, another one there too. That's a nice big one here. Big bough coming into the scene there. Quite a thick at that point. Go quiet because I'm concentrating. I don't get much more particular with these limbs. I'm coming a little later into the painting. Now I think I still need, these need to be a little darker. There. These were part of this sort of glade or avenue, I suppose, in a kind of way. And yes, there's quite a biggish one there. Let's big that up a little bit. I'm just taking a glance at my camera to see if what I'm seeing through the camera view, the view that you will see. And I can see perhaps some of these need to be a bit bigger. I'm going to put some quite thick paint there. There are trees and some fine trees and branches. I'm just using the edge of this. This is a number 8 flat, so it's fair size actually. So I have to ground it somewhat here. Let's clean off a little bit. I don't want that too dark down there. It's grayed out a little bit. So I think I can wipe it and put a little more grey in there. This is the beauty with oil over watercolour. You've got so many opportunities to correct a mistake with oil. You just don't get that with the watercolour. You've got a few opportunities to make changes, but generally it's limited, so you have to be very considerate. But here it's you could try it. If it doesn't fit, alter it, wipe it off. So here I've got some more olive mixed with some sap green. Trying to make some shapes here. And there's some big stones here with a lot of moss on, I could see. And here as well. So I'm going to be brave and use a little bit of phthalo to give me some different colours down here as well. But I must keep a little bit of light here, down here where my brush is now. I have to get some sort of lighter, more yellowy greens. We'll do that in a minute. Let's just get some shapes in here. But right, so clean my brush off a little bit. So a little bit of spirit there. Got the tissue in my left hand, which you're not seeing there, but I'm going to get a bit of lemon, a bit of cadmium yellow here, mixed with a slight bit of green. Yes, I think we need to step that up a little bit. Let's get some yellows in here. I think I'm going to put a bit of oil there, help it come off my brush. I mixed a little bit of lemon yellow as well. I want to get a nice yellow here. Try and reflect some of this light, which I certainly can see here. Lemon yellow. Yes, there's a little bit of yellows there. And here we've still got a little. Right. and a little bit coming through in there, and see a little bit, the light is coming from left to right, so we're getting some bright colours coming through there. Again, let's get some ochre, some of my yellows, mix it there. Right, I'm standing back, squinting my eyes a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, there's some going in there into the background. Some light greens are catching on some of these boughs as well. Yes, I notice that's a feature of this greeny margin to some of these boughs here. Let's see if we can do that. So again, I've got a mixture of those sap green, bit of phthalo, some yellows. So I want to get some lightish green on this side, because I said the light is coming left to right, and these as well. So as I said, it's quite a dense woodland. And also there's a sort of, let me clean my brush off again, there's a little hint of orange here. Coming up there. Maybe bits of bracken perhaps. And here we're catching a little bit. See, I'm just not slavishly following my reference, but using it as a guide. Now I've got to tighten up on some of these trees, I think. I think I need to change my brush now. Just finish briefly a bit there. Get some different colours here. Right, let's get a different brush. Now, what should I go for? Something to give me a bit more control. Yes, I've got a slightly smaller one here. Daleroni, number 4 flat. So let's see if I can tighten up on some of these limbs. Let's get some browns and greens. As I say, there were so many different branches. I need to simplify it actually somewhat. This is the issue, I think. Get a little bit of oil going there, and a bit more of my Payne's grey, a little bit of olive green, a little of phthalo. See if we can say this is wet on wet really. It's alla prima. I'm doing this all in one session. Well, I've pushed on a little bit. I think perhaps I should put a bit of shadow colour in, because as I said, the sun is coming, the light is left to right. So let's get a little bit of ultramarine and a little bit of crimson alizarin, I think. Should make us a nice sort of shadowy purpley colour. So I'm going to see if I can produce a bit of a shadow colour along some of these, but not too much, because I must keep that light as well. But as I said, I've got to have some darks to emphasize that bit of light there and this bit of bright yellow there. And I think, let's see what I'm doing with these branches. Are they reading good enough? I think I could make this one a lot thicker. Avoiding using making them too dark, which is easily done if I stay too close to my reference, where they look dark in the photograph, but I'm sure they're not quite. So let's get another brush here and a little flat, more sharper, chiseled one, and see. Yes, I think we need something a bit darker there. Yeah, this is very hard bristle brush here. Having it tricky to get the paint off for some reason. So the best thing to do then is load it up a little bit with a bit sort of thicker paint. I'm afraid I think that canvas is shining a little bit from my studio light, but because it's still quite wet here. But let's put a bit of thicker paint down here. I'll make sure it's grounded. Roll my brush a little bit too, that sometimes helps. Right, now again I'm squinting at my reference. I wonder if I should get a thinner brush. I think I should get a little bit of a rigger. Let's put some fine brushes in, some fine strokes in. So let's go see what I've got here. Yes, I've got my palette knife actually, so I think we can make some little marks with that. Yes, I think that. I'll put some on the edge of it as well, on the edge of the blade. You can sometimes do that. Get some of these finer marks in. Yes, that's better. I can sort of ground some of these trees here. But I said I don't want them too bright down in the that middle distance, because I want to create some depth. You can only do that if you have light and dark here. There's quite a lot of texture in that tree now. I can see it's catching a bit of the light. I've got a smaller brush here, a little round one here. So let's see if we can tidy up. Yes, I think that's probably a bit better. Some of these. Yes, you've got to keep loading your brush up though. There's quite a canopy coming here, and they sort of sweep across here. So I want to make sure I've got some of that. Right, now what I do over here, I think we need to suggest some trees there. This finer brush. will help me a little bit. But again, I'm going to look back at my initial aim is to get this tunnel of light. I think I could get some light, some yellow, on a little bit of my titanium and lay over some of these rocks. Put some lights in these rocks here. Can put some darker bits to represent the base of them. But this one here had a light along with all the moss there. And some dark bits as well, so get that last bit of Payne's grey I've got there with some ultramarine, and make a mix, put some red and make it a bit of green. Let's make a real rich dark colour. They were coming along here, all these rocks, and let's make sure this is reading. A tree there. Yes, they're not quite so black as the, or so dark as those in the foreground, which is important. And I think we could hint at some little finer branches coming here with this little round brush here. It's just stroking a little some of these branches that are overhanging here. Let me think. Trying to keep every bit of the painting interesting, so I've got to view it like that. Every part of your picture should be helping to tell the story of this scene here. I think I can. Let's put another firm up on that tree there. Going out here behind this one. Let's just reinforce that again. Can't do every little branch, obviously, but just try and do enough to help tell the story. Yes, I think that's starting to come together. Anyway, if any of you like this, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. It's always good, but comments too. any of you are painters, or even if you're not a painter, you know, if it's got any comments, please feel free to add them there. Yes, I think I can perhaps run this off here, make that read a bit better. So I've still got a bit of the misty white that I was trying to keep. In fact, I'm very tempted to step it up a little bit. So why don't I just clean off my brush and get onto some titanium and see what we can do, because it was definitely coming through here. I want to just try and suggest that light. Yes, I think it even went right up here. Again, looking at my reference, you could see the light, the mist here. So again, I'm just make sure I'm keeping my brush clean. So let's put some more in here. Just tickle it in a little bit between some of these boughs. So I think it was coming even across here, in between there, behind these boughs. It's a little grey. But early morning, so get this if you get up, go for a walk early. If you can find a lovely setting like this. This is from the Cairngorms. It's a mountain range. What we have for mountains in this country, not great, not big, but this is a beautiful place to visit. Scotland generally, you'll love it if you go and make a visit. So I'm sort of ghosting this out a little bit, I think. That's better. I think that's giving me a bit of a misty look, isn't it? There are actually little hints of orangey colours too. In some parts, sort of slightly orange ochre. Yes, I got that right. I can see now. Yeah, soften some of those forms that I did there. A bit of colour. I think I must just restore a bit of the dark there, though, which I've rather damaged with my additional white, but there we go. Put some umber. That's better. Re-establish that limb there. Well, I think I've just about finished. So it's nice to get back and try some different medium if you haven't been doing it for a little while. So I've might be doing a few more, I think. A bit more white here. White. Give some contrast, yes. Some different colours there. I think we can do that. And just finally, I think I bring that foot of that tree, that root a little bit there. That needs to be done. And we could use a bit of our green still. Let's use a bit of that phthalo as well. Step it up. Some grasses. Some moss on these. Okay. Right, well, I think I'm going to leave that. That's the my attempt to catch a morning scene as I'm walking through this woodland in the Cairngorms in Scotland. Thanks for watching.